Hey everyone, I have a request video from a few people that Maha wanted to give me, and that is, how did I learn to wake up early? What do I say to myself when I wake up? How do I motivate myself? And basically everything else in between. Why I enjoy the mornings, why I also don't go to bed really early, why I think that 8 hours of sleep, sure, I'm sure there's all the research in the world to support that, and I'm not saying you're not going to feel better from that, but why I don't think about hours of sleep unless I've gotten 5 to 6 hours of sleep multiple days in a row, which tends to happen a lot. My dog wakes me up a lot. We had a thunderstorm last night, so I didn't sleep as well last night. I think I slept maybe 5 hours total last night, but they were separated into like 2 hours here, 3 hours here, which happens at least 2 or 3 times a week for years now. So if that affects me long term, it affects me long term, but I rarely get tired throughout the day. I'm a little bit more tired now, but usually that's after like a really heavy leg workout, and then plus I've already had 3, 4, 5 calls in a row, plus a lot of other stuff. So that, especially after lunch, that natural little dip in energy levels, but I don't look at it like that. I'm not looking at why is this happening, why is that happening. It's just the way it is. I just accept however my body is feeling. I don't let that stop me from doing anything, and that plays a lot into how I get up in the morning. Before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. Let me know what you think about this. And remember, when you are messaging Phil, make fun of him. No, seriously. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. And I hope to hear from you soon. So, and in the webinars, 8:30 p.m. UK, the one coming up, we have like 70 people signed up. It's a blast. I'm fortunate that now, and then I was in grad school for almost 3.5 years. I woke up most days around 6. But then there was periods in grad school where I had grad school classes and then clinic at the same time. So I had to wake up at 3:50 in the morning if I wanted to work out and then be at home, showered, eating, and then in the classroom by 7:20 a.m. So I had to have eating, shower, driving to the gym, back from the gym, and a long workout, and then in class by 7:30 in the morning, which I usually got there around 7:10 because I just liked being early, which at the time was probably compulsive, fear of missing out on things, etc. So I tend to not look at anything that has to do with sleep research. I don't look at any sleep hygiene as well. I think that, of course, people sleep in certain conditions better, a nicer pillow and blanket. I tend to sleep better in a colder room, and I like having a fan on, a back box fan. I like the white noise, but I can sleep with none of that. I could sleep in the heat and with no box fan and then light coming through the window. I'm not saying I'm going to sleep as well, but I prefer those things, but I could sleep in any scenario. I could sleep right here on the ground for the next 3 years if needed. I would just put a pillow and then just sleep when I slept. I've done many things like this and slept in situations where I don't sleep that good. I tend to sleep the best like most people when they're away traveling. Just I think the mind subconsciously with belief systems like, oh, I'm away, I'm on a cruise right now, or I'm traveling, I'm in a hotel room. I know a lot of people who say I sleep the best in hotel rooms because my mind's kind of detached from work. That doesn't really matter why that's happening. I just accept however I sleep. I have a big thing that says if I sleep, I sleep. If I don't, I don't. But I also balance certain things. Like I don't have coffee anymore past a certain time. I did for a long time, but then with my seizures I talked about, I have caffeine-induced seizures. I've had 3 in my life from viral encephalitis and meningitis. I just ignored that for a while, but I had a bad seizure 6 weeks ago. So now I don't really have any caffeine after 1 or 2, and I had to adapt with that. But, I had to learn the hard way, but I'm not scared of that. And then what happens is I'll give you an idea of run through of how I operate. So most days I'm working up between 4:45 and 4:55 in the morning. Some days, if it's required, I get up at 4:30. Rarely am I up before 4:30. My body wakes me up around 4 to 5. I wake up. The first thing I do, it's a habit I've had for 5 or 6 months now. I say 3 things I'm grateful for. Today I was joking in the groups because I wrote a matching article about this, but I remember I opened my eyes and said, I'm so grateful for pre-workout because if I get a bad sleep, I can take pre-workout, get some energy before I go to the gym. A lot of them, and I try to make them different, things I can think of. I'm so grateful to live in a place where it was snowing today. I think the snow's, I can still see it out my window, which is odd because it was like 31 degrees Celsius and with 80 degrees Fahrenheit 3 days ago. But I'm grateful I live in a protected building with AC and cooling. A lot of people don't have that. And then I'm thankful I have water. Think about it, right? How many people don't have access to clean water and stuff like that? Some of the big ones. And then anything else that's going on in my life. I'm thankful I have a wife that I can compromise with. And I think it's a good way to start my day. I've been implementing that for 5 or 6 months. I'm at a point now where most of the time I don't forget. When you're working on habits constantly, like we're talking about at OCD and anxiety recovery, when you implement new habits, the chances of you being able to implement them automatically is a lot faster. Yes, Ray Dalio's book Principles, one of my favorite books, read it twice. He talks about that most habits take 18 months. I actually would disagree with him in certain ways. It depends on the person. If someone has a plethora of very good habits, most habits will not take 18 months to fix. I can add a completely new habit in. The chance of it being automatic in under 3 months is very high because I put a lot of effort into that. But I also have a lot of practice with other habits. Like one thing I've been implementing is lights off in the house at night, closing all doors, not even leaving the pantry door open, shoes in the shoe rack, making my bed every day, flossing my teeth more. Like these little habits, the more I add to things like that, they just boom, 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 boom. Nothing is in the... When I go to sleep at night, my sink is empty, dead empty. There's no dishes at all. Not because, oh, I must do that. It's just I look at it from a totality of adding habits together, right? I always talk about the 1,000-piece puzzle. One puzzle piece is making your bed as a standalone piece. It's kind of meaningless. When you add that together with like 50, 60 other habits, that builds up, builds your frustration tolerance, gives you a better opportunity, more than likely, at handling frustration tolerance in your day-to-day. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is I go to the gym. But every 7th or 8th week, I don't go to the gym for half the week. And I go in at a coffee shop, if it's open, a Starbucks, and I read very early in the morning, which I like my alone time. Today, I'll be going to a cigar bar. I like smoking cigars 2, 3, 4 times a month. Try not to go every week, but 2 to 3 times a month, I like. I know myself. I have to know myself. I enjoy smoking. I always joke and say I'm waiting for the article to say that cigarettes are healthy for you again. Bringing cigarettes right back. I smoked cigarettes for years. And I just like the way smoke is. I think better when I'm smoking. I like writing when I'm smoking. Today's day and age is the only time in history we've looked at that as odd. You hear people go, that's so weird. Not really. Like from the beginning of time until 1970, literally 1970, you could still smoke in airplanes. So actually what's odd is today's view about smoking. That is what's odd. Smoking, of course, is bad for you, but people do things that are bad for them all the time. So it's something I like doing. But anyway, back to the morning stuff. So I wake up. This is exactly what I do. I wake up. I'm currently doing something right now. I've done this with 3 different goals in my life. I have a white piece of paper on my wall. The goal I'm working towards today, I believe, was day 69, 68. Check mark. It says, this is my goal. Boom. Usually I get to 100, 365 days. I take it off. It's a goal. If it's something I am struggling with, that visual cue for me. So I check that off. I get ready. Usually Daisy's on my bed. I make my bed when I get back from the gym. I wake up. It's probably 60 seconds. I'm out of my bed in 60 seconds from waking up. Actually, lately it's been about 5 minutes because the first thing I do after the gratitude is I answer emails. If there's anyone booking, hey, what's up? I'll message you when I get back from the gym. Sometimes it's 6, 7 people. Checking all the WhatsApp groups. Wake up, brush my teeth, use mouthwash, go to the bathroom, do my hair, put deodorant on, get changed. Go into Erica's room, give her a kiss, love you, kiss the dogs, go downstairs, pre-workout mix with Gatorade powder, out the door. Same routine every single day of the week, except for my non-lifting days, which is Thursday, where I actually start my first one-to-one at 5 in the morning. So I wake up at 4:30 to 4:45, wake up, have a cup of coffee, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, on the call by 5 a.m. Thursdays tend to be long days for me. I usually do 9 to 13 one-to-ones just on Thursday, but I love it. Just something I really, really like. Sundays is another day off from like typical exercise. I wake up at the same thing. I have my first one-to-one at 5 in the morning. I do work 7 days a week, 99% of the year. It's something I love. I don't look at it from work-life balance. I don't believe in work-life balance. We talk about it, but I don't believe in the sense of, I think that society views it wrong. Work-life balance for me is exactly what I do now, is accepting whatever I'm doing, trying to be present in that activity, and then moving forward. So I wake up. I usually have a 5, 6, 7, just 3 one-to-ones on Sunday, maybe an 8th. Erica doesn't like that. Have breakfast, get some caffeine, and we go hiking or we go out. The last 4 weeks actually have been different for me. I haven't hiked as much as I usually do, which is nice. I've been going to a coffee shop, bookstore, which are my favorite places. Coffee shop, bookstore, bars, oh my God. Best place ever. Love to have a Blue Moon or a beer or a coffee, read, and I can walk next door to the bookstore, which is incredible. I'm reading a book right now called Talent is Overrated. It came out 16 years ago. Incredible book about why raw talent, just genuine talent, is not actually that real. And it's so cool to see it. Certain things, genetic talent, but in the most part, it's not what people think. It's just such a cool book. Talent is overrated. And that's what I do. And I stay quite busy. And like what I try to work on now in my life is just doing one thing at a time. So when I'm on calls, I'm on a call. If I'm doing emails, I'm doing emails. I don't check emails in between calls anymore. Not that that's inherently bad, but I like the structure of this time for this thing, this time for this thing. And if I miss it, and check the next day. So I don't beat myself up like that, but I wanted to work on that ADHD squirrel brain I had my whole life. And it's totally off the record. I think ADHD is completely malleable like OCD. I've changed so much about my ADHD, which, by the way, I never think about my ADHD. If no one brought it up to me, like Rob making jokes or Moment and people in the groups, I would never, the word ADHD, those letters would never even leave my mouth because I don't look at life like that. So that's one of the things, like when people are looking at, oh, I'm tired in the morning, or what are the benefits and the results from that, I don't look at any of that. Data to me is cool. I used to be a data-focused statistical psycho, but now I look at that stuff, but I rarely do because it doesn't matter. To me, it's a detractor. Why do I wake up early? Because waking up early gives me a benefit to achieve more things in my life, and it builds hardship, grit, and moves me more towards my goals and deliberate practice in my life. What's a deliberate practice? Making 25 YouTube videos every month, 150 TikToks, WhatsApp articles all the time, personal videos for the WhatsApp group. This is why the WhatsApp group is great. I think I'm at 15 private articles this month in the WhatsApp group, plus all my videos, and everything in between like that. Commenting on YouTube, working on my business with Erica that she primarily runs. I try to be as deliberate as I can, but you can only do so much that you can. And that's why I like getting up early. Like, think about this for a second. Most days by noon, I have gone to the gym for an hour and a half, ate breakfast, had coffee or pre-workout, 10, 11, 12, 5 one-to-ones, 10 TikToks on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes I throw other days in there. A YouTube video Monday through Saturday every week usually. It's Saturday right now, I'm making that, what is it, the 27th of April. Spend some time with Erica, get my reading in. I have, what I do is my daily list. I use Ray Dalio principles, must, first, like, and I look at my life in a very sacrificial way. I have lived a very instant gratification lifestyle for a long time before this. Sleeping around, sex with a lot of people, doing drugs, drinking. I've done every drug besides, basically crack, meth, and heroin, but with all the ecstasy and Molly I did back in the day, I've probably done those. Cheating on things, shortcuts, stealing when I was a kid, stealing money out of my mom's purse, all the things, instant gratification. And I didn't want to live like that anymore. So I had no chronic guilt at the time with that because I said, these behaviors aren't good. Chronic guilt serves no purpose. Chronic guilt is only coming from conditional life acceptance. This shouldn't happen, etc. So how do I redirect? And then going from there. So when people say, how do I wake up early? It's an interesting question. That's like asking me, I don't even know. Usually I'm good with the stuff on the spot. It's like saying if I could sit there with you and read with you when you're 30. It's like, no, you have to get up and go to the gym and stop acting behaviorally lazy. If you don't go to the gym most days and you're asking me how to do it, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I, Nick, am behaviorally very lazy when it comes to exercise. There's no such thing as a lazy person. Remember, actions, no matter how strong or how good they are or bad good, they can't define the human. That's what unconditional acceptance is. But it is important to highlight lazy behavioral traits. So, not making your bed in the morning. Is that going to change your life? No, but it's a good habit to add to a bunch of habits like the puzzle piece. Brushing your teeth, flossing, all these, I floss at night. Mouthwash, which I use twice a day. Going to the gym. Trying not to text and drive so much, which is something that we all struggle with right in this day and age. We all do it. I've gotten very good at this, but at times at red lights, I can pick my phone up. But I rarely look at my phone when I'm driving anymore at all. I put my phone on the other side of the seat. I'm finally at a place where the urge isn't that bad, but it took me a while to get to that spot. But those are one things you have to do. Oh, I can't get up early. I'm too tired. Lazy behavioral traits. I have to be quite tough about this. For pounds, I'm about 167 in the morning. I weighed myself today for the first time in how long? I just did it today. At my height, I was 219 pounds. So 50 pounds more is like 22 kilograms. I was behaviorally lazy when it came to eating, which caused me to be fat, which was my doing. My fault. No one else, not the food, not the quality of the food, my fault. My actions, my overeating, my low frustration tolerance. So you not getting up in the morning, you not going to the gym or reading, whatever your morning structure you want it to look like to improve your lifestyle and your frustration tolerance, that's you being behaviorally lazy. You. And I can guide you and show you and talk about it, but you have to speak to yourself in that stricter way, in a sense, or you just go, yeah, I can see, well, I like sleeping in. It's like, I get you're sleeping in, but you're going to get plenty of sleep one day when you're DEAD, dead, in the grave, gone, goner, no more consciousness of life. That's how I look at it. Death is very motivating. Most people are petrified. I am beyond the stratosphere, motivated by death. That's why I do everything I do. Like today, Saturday, 8 one-to-ones, YouTube videos, TikToks, goals. Saturdays are a little bit longer than me. I do key point indicators for my business. I go over personal goals, which I have a separate binder. Then I go over OCD goals, which is in that binder, and my business goals, separate binder. Then I think about what I'm going to do for the day. People go, that's exhausting. That sucks. They're like, that lifestyle sucks. Yeah, but is it? Because the amount of people I meet that sleep in, chase short-term gratification, some of them, when I mean some, a lot of them are hamster wheel. Chasing. So that's why I get up early. I just view that in a very stern way with myself, unconditionally, of course. If you told me right now I just sleep till 10 my body wouldn't let me. I would just lay there and like read. But I just see the pros are much better. So thank you for watching. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. We'll do another webinar soon on habits, strictly on habits, which are usually big webinars. And I hope to see you there. Come in for coaching, webinar service, get you access to our WhatsApp groups, which are very specific. I mean, the amount of stuff that goes into those groups, there's nothing like it. I get a lot of feedback. There's nothing like those groups. The amount of free content for now that goes in there is big. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys.